Alright, so welcome back students. We are now down to the part 3 of this topic, which is the parameters of a rotational ellipsoid, with topics covering the brief review of the fundamental properties of an ellipse and parts of an ellipsoid. Again, when we say ellipsoid, it is formed by rotating or taking an ellipse and rotating it about its minor axis or minor axis rather. And for this example, kung nakay ellipse, then we are going to rotate on its minor axis. Ang iyahang volume na ma-generate is what we call ellipsoid. The minor axis coincides with the Earth's spin axis. For Earth, we all know that it's oblate. Kung rotate na siya into the minor axis, which is the North Pole padulong sa South Pole. And the major axis sweeps out the equatorial plane as the ellipse is rotated. If this is the minor axis, so ang major axis siya ang nag-sweep or siya ang nagtuyok with respect to the rotational axis. For basic ellipse, we have these parameters. F1 and F2 are the foci. So mga itong discussing sa part 1. F1 and F2 are the foci. And point O is the center of an ellipse or the origin. O to A, where is O to A? O to padulong sa A is the semi-major axis or O to B. And O to P1, and O to P2 are the semi-minor axis of an ellipse. And we consider that P1 and P2 is the minor axis of the ellipse, while P or point 1 to point 2 are the minor axis, and P is the arbitrary point of an ellipse or point nga it's either mura siya og some part of the earth nga naay nagtindog or kuha na to siya og position. And note that sa ellipse si F2 to P plus F1 to P are constant. Kung saan na siya nga constant, that is 2A or the major axis. Equal na sila at any point at the circumference of the ellipse. So pag naadri si P, naadri si P, then F2 to P plus F1 to P is also equal to 2A. Always do that siya. Alright, so first parameter for an ellipsoid is what we call flattening. Flattening is the measure of compression. So the link word here is the compression. Measure of compression of a circle or a sphere along the diameter to form an ellipse or an ellipsoid of revolution respectively. Other terms for flattening is what we call ellipticity and oblateness or oblateness. The usual notation for flattening is small letter f. Gamay nga f. Muna siya ang denotation for flattening. And its definition in terms of semi-axis of the resulting ellipse or ellipsoid is compression factor, which is B over A in each case. So, when you say compression factor, that is equal to semi-minor axis over semi-major axis. And there are two other variants of flattening. And to avoid confusion, the term flattening is called the first flattening. So naman tayo duha ko yung klase ng flattening, the first flattening and the second flattening. So to avoid confusion, pag may tag flattening, pasabot na niya is first flattening. So for flattening, it is defined as the difference of the magnitude. So mura siya og minus, subtraction daw siya or a subtraction between semi-major axis and the semi-minor axis divided by the major axis, or the difference between the semi-major axis and the semi-minor axis all over the semi-major axis. For Earth, the semi-major axis and the semi-minor axis is differ on about 21 kilometers or that is equals to 13 miles. Kung what do you call this one? Sa Earth na mga parameters sa ellipse, si semi-major axis minus semi-minor axis is equal to around 21 kilometers or 13 miles. So for flattening, here is the formula. When we say first flattening, it is equal to F, no? F ang iyang denotation, is equal to A minus B over A, or the semi-major axis minus the semi-minor axis all over semi-major axis. We have also second flattening, no? Denotated as F prime. F prime is equal to, same lang sila sa first flattening, A minus B over A, but ang difference lang nila is, i-change lang ang denominator to B. No? Para dali natin siya memorize, ang first flattening, A minus B over A. For second flattening, bayluan ra, no? Bayluan ra og semi-minor axis ang ubos, or B. So again, second flattening is equals to A minus B over B. Alright, so let's go back to this notation of an ellipse. No? So from this illustration, no, we are going to assume that the point is in the here, no, P1, which is collinear to the center of an ellipse. From this illustration, we can say that si F1 to P1 plus F2 to P1 is equal to 2A. Diba? Mga ito ang discuss sa part 1. So therefore, symmetric man siya kay collinear man si P1 and si center, we can say that F1 to P1 is A and P1 to F2 is also A. And we have here also, no, from P1 to O, or O to P1, so ang tawagan na niya is semi-minor axis, B. So kung naatay B, naatay A, si kinsa maning nasa ubos, no? Or unsa man ang equation aning nasa ubos. So using Pythagorean theorem, we have A and B. We have square root of A squared minus B squared. So another parameters of an ellipsoid is the eccentricity. When we say eccentricity, it is a ratio describing the shape of a conic section. So when we say conic section, it's a circle, ellipse, hyperbola, no, parabola. So that's the conic sections. Or another definition is the ratio of the distance between the foci to the length of the major axis. So ang pasabot niya, distance daw between the foci to the length of the major axis. No? Distance between the foci to the length of the major axis. So that's eccentricity. So when we say eccentricity, no, the eccentricity daw kuno of an ellipse or a circle daw is an ellipse with zero eccentricity. Napasabot kung si circle kay perfect man siya, so zero ang iyang eccentricity. So again, circle daw kuno is an ellipse, pero zero lang ang iyang eccentricity. So another definition of an eccentricity is a circularly that has a different center or deviates from a circular path. And it is the ratio of the distance between the center and the focus of an ellipse or hyperbola to its semi-transverse axis. Again, center to the focus of an ellipse. So center to foci, mo na siya ang eccentricity. So let's recall, no, sa inyong mathematics nga, the eccentricity of a circle is 0. No? And when we say ellipse, which is not a circle, and is greater than 0 ang iyang eccentricity but less than 1. So pasabot ang eccentricity sa ellipse is 0 to 1. Pag mulapas na siya 1, lain na po na siya nga conic section. Another conic section is ang parabola. No? The eccentricity of a parabola is equal to 1. 1 ra jud, wala na ilain. And pag mo greater than na siya, so that's what we call hyperbola. Again, circle, 0 ang eccentricity. Pag ellipse, 0 to 1. Pag 1, that is parabola. And greater than 1 is hyperbola. So this illustration demonstrate that unsay mahitabo kung constant lang ang A pero nag-change ang iyang eccentricity from the origin, no? So as you all know, no, kung ang focus is naa sa center. Ang focus niya is nasa center, same with the center of the conic section. So that's a circle, no? So makaingon ta nga circle kay zero naman ang iyang eccentricity. So samtang magkalayo si focus sa center, no, mag-change pud ang iyahang oblateness. So kung mas dool, mas dako ang iyahang semi-major axis or gamay lang ang iyang flattening, hangtod sa kung magkalayo mahimo na siyang ellipse, mahimong dayon siyang hyperbola. So that's the relationship between the constant A or the semi-major axis with respect to the changing eccentricity. Again, eccentricity, we have this formula. The first eccentricity is equal to C over A, or the ratio between the distance between the, di ba si C kaganina is katong distance from the center padulong sa foci, no? Center to foci divided by the major semi-major axis. Or in short, mo ni ang formula, no? Eccentricity is equal to square root of a squared minus b squared over a, which is kani nga value is square root of a squared minus b squared is same na siya sa katong c kaganina nga atong gi-derive, no? So in short, kaning square root of a squared minus b squared is just a c all over semi-major axis. Or kung imuha siyang i-squared both sides, so pwede siya a squared is equals to a squared minus b squared over a squared. We have also second eccentricity, no, or denoted as e prime, no? E prime. So sa second eccentricity is just equal to c, no, c over b. Ganina ay c over a, karon na pod c over b. So again, si c is equal to square root of a squared minus b squared all over b, no? Ay square root of a squared minus b squared rather. So all over b man siya. So ang iyan ang formula karon is e prime is equals to square root of a squared minus b squared all over b. Or kung ato na siyang i-squared both sides, so natay e prime squared is equals to a squared minus b squared all over b squared. Right, so let's go back to this illustration. So ang atong next na parameter of the ellipse is naay kalamdigitan, no, or naay relationship with this this Greek word, no, alpha. So that is the angular eccentricity, no, or the kani siya alpha. So angular eccentricity natay tulo ka klase, no, or angular eccentricity with respect to sine, cosine, and tangent. So from the equation, from the illustration, no, natay alpha diri, sine daw of alpha, sine alpha. So when we say alpha, opposite over hypotenuse. So again class, no, si O to F1 is equal to C, no? Kung ikitay A ni diri, B ni diri according sa ato ang discussion de ganina. So therefore kani siya is si C, no, sa Pythagorean theorem. So that is equal to a squared minus b squared, a square root of a squared minus b squared rather. So taking the sine opposite over hypotenuse, so C, which is diri is C all over hypotenuse nga A. So mo nang si sine alpha is C over A. C over A. And that is also equal to the first eccentricity. Di ba? Eccentricity is equals to C over A. Eccentricity is equals to square root of a squared minus b squared over a. Same lang na sila sa angular eccentricity with respect to sine. We have also cosine alpha, or the angular eccentricity with respect to cosine. So natay formula nga b over a. Okay, from the illustration nga cosine of adjacent over hypotenuse. Ang adjacent na to is si b man, and ang hypotenuse is si a, mo ng b over a, or that is equal to 1 minus flattening. And we have also the last one, angular eccentricity with respect to the tangent, opposite over adjacent. Opposite nato si C, ang adjacent is si B. So that is also equal to second eccentricity. So again, tangent, angular eccentricity with respect to tangent is just equal to the second eccentricity, which is equal to square root of a squared minus b squared over b. Right. So let's go back again to this notation. No? So mo ni si a, mo ni si b, and this is c, which is also equal to a squared minus b squared. So next na karon is kani siya ang gitawag nga si c, no? Si c. So mo na to ang giderive ganina sa pagkuha sa angular eccentricities. So next parameter is the linear eccentricity. Pag may tag linear eccentricity, it is the distance between the center and either of its two foci. So no? The eccentricity can be defined as the ratio of the linear eccentricity to the semi-major axis A. So let's recall nga si eccentricity di ay, di ba kaganina is equals to C over A. C over A from katong notation of an ellipse nga itong pagkita nga illustration. So therefore, si linear eccentricity, which is equal to C, kaya ang pasabot man niya kay center to either of its two foci. Center padulong sa foci, di ba mauna si C kaganina, no? Si C kaganina. So that is also equal to linear eccentricity. So kung kuha na to ang value ani ni C, so ato ni i-cross multiply si A o si E, si A kang E. So therefore, kay since denotated man si linear eccentricity as dako nga E, so ang formula niya is semi-major axis times its eccentricity. And there are two other quantities that is accepted pero di na kayo siya ginapangita or di na kayo sila gina-solve. So we have third flattening. So third flattening is denotated as small letter n. Ang iyang formula is semi-major axis minus semi-minor axis all over semi-major axis plus semi-minor axis, or a minus b all over a plus b. And we have also the third eccentricity denotated as is small letter m. Same lang sila sa third flattening og dagway sa formula, pero naka-squared tanan. So m is equals to a squared minus b squared all over a squared plus b squared. And for the relationships between the flattening and eccentricity, we have this formula. Kung kintahay given ka og flattening, need lang nimo ang eccentricity. Mao ni ang formula. E squared is equals to 2f minus f squared. So to prove that na equal gid na sila, na si E squared is equals to 2f minus f squared, ato na siyang i-prove, no? So si E squared, no, from the equation nga itong gihatag kaganina is equal to, or this is the first eccentricity squared. So that is equal to a squared minus b squared over a squared. Based ni sa formula nga itong gihatag ganina ha sa eccentricity, basta nangutan na mo, nagikan sir, gikan na sa ato ang gihatag na formula about eccentricity. And flattening is equal to, di ba? Flattening is, or first flattening is equals to a minus b over a. And ato na i-substitute, no? Si f is equals to a minus b over a. Naka-squared lang si. Mathematically manipulated, no? Ato na siyang i-distribute. So natay 2a minus 2b over a. And kani, so a minus b times a minus b, so natay a squared plus 2ab minus b squared. B squared all over, since a times a squared mo siya, so natay a squared sa us. Then we need to have the common factor of a and a squared, which is a squared. A squared divided by a is a times 2a, so nahin mo siyang 2a squared. A divided by a squared minus divided by a is a times negative 2b, so nahahin mo siyang negative 2ab. And sulat lang niya siya, i-copy lang niya siya kay same naman siya ang denominator. So natay minus a squared plus 2ab minus b squared. Cancel the 2ab, so na lang natin mabilin nga a squared minus b squared over a squared is equal to 2a squared. Cancel naman ang 2ab or lagi 2ab. So, nalanabilin nga 2a squared minus a squared minus b squared. So, 2a squared minus a squared is equal to a squared minus b squared over a squared. So, therefore, prove siya. No? Na-prove siya nga si e squared di is equal to 2f minus f squared. So, again, no? So, focus mo nga part sa pag-prove kay since na ko'y problem set regarding this one on how to prove the equations in the rotational ellipsoids. Alright, so let's go to the example. Using the Clark 1866 parameters, having semi-major axis to be 6378206.4 meters and B is 6356583.8 meters. Calculate the following: the first and second flattening, first and second eccentricity, the linear eccentricity, the angular eccentricities with respect to sine, cosine, and tangent, the third flattening, and the third eccentricity. So first is we need to determine the first and second flattening. For first flattening, we have this formula. F is equals to A minus B over A, or semi-major axis minus semi-minor axis all over semi-major axis. Substitute the value of A. So, mali siya, 6378,206.4. Ang B, 6356583.8. All over A nga, 6378,206.4. Therefore, natay flattening nga 1 over 294.9718773. So, sir, dili man yung anig form ang mugawas akong calculator. No? Okay, 1 man, 0 point something. No? So, to get the value of this one, kaning 294, ang answer ninyo i-inverse lang sa calculator. Answer inverse, then mugawas ning 294.9718773. Butangan og 1 sa taas. Or kung dili mo ganahan ng pamaagi, then you can use the method nga gitudlo sa inyong G100 on how to get the precision. Same na sila pamaagi. So next is the second eccentricity. The formula is A minus B over B. So substitute the value 6378206.4 minus 6356583.8 all over 6356583.3. So natay makuha nga second flattening nga 1 over 293.9718773. Next is the first and second eccentricity. So, formula base. Ang formula sa eccentricity is equals to I squared of A squared minus B squared all over A. Substitute the value of A and B. You can have the value of eccentricity is equals to 0.08227280383. Again, pag mo yung tag-eccentricity, dili ni siya 1 over, ha? 1 over. So, pag yung tag-eccentricity, naka-decimal format dyan siya. Pero pag flattening gani, naka-fraction format dyan siya. Fraction format. And, for the second eccentricity, we have this formula. Eccentricity A prime or E prime is equals to A squared minus B squared all over B. Again, substitute the value of A and B nga given. You can have the second eccentricity to be 0.08255267007. So, next is the linear eccentricity. Formula brace sa jud ani. Dapat careful lang jud siya pag-solve kay kung mali nimo solve ang first one, then mali na din ang tanan. For example, kani eccentricity. Namali ka sa eccentricity sa first pa lang yung pag-calculate, so namali na ka dili sa linear eccentricity. Again, to get the value of the linear eccentricity, we have this formula, A times eccentricity. Substitute the value of A and eccentricity nga itong nakuha kaganina. We have the linear eccentricity to be 524.72.9239 meters. Naka-meter siya kay si A is naka-meters. Alright, so next is the angular eccentricity. Angular eccentricity with respect to sine, sine alpha or angular eccentricity with respect to sine is equal to C over A. And this equation is just equal to the first eccentricity. So, kopyahon lang ninyo kung unsay value sa eccentricity, then that's the answer for angular eccentricity for with respect to sine. For cosine, that is equal to 1 over 1 minus f. 1 minus f, or pwede po siya b over a. Depende na sa inyo unsa nga formula yung gamiton. If kanibang 1 minus f or si b over a. So that results to this value nga 0.9966098463. So muna siya ang angular eccentricity with respect to cosine. And we have also angular eccentricity with respect to tangent. So that's equal to c over b, and this equation is also equal to second eccentricity, having 0.08255267007. So yan na lang, yan nakasimple mag-solve, pero dapat careful lang, no, kung unsaon yung pag-solve kay prerequisite kay kasagaran, no? Prerequisite ko. Mamali ka sa pag-solve sa primero, mamali kung ka sa solve pag next. Next is the another di pangita, no, sa problem, which is ang third flattening, which is denotated as small letter n. That is equal to a minus b over a plus b. Substitute the value of a and b, no? So since kay flattening man siya, dapat naka-fraction ang imong answer. So n is equals to 1 over 588.9437546. Again, kung sa unay pagkuha, answer, ani, di ba, mag-input mo sa calculator, press answer, then inverse. So, makakuha ka aning 588.9437546. So, naka-inverse man siya, so therefore, dapat na ay 1 sa taas. For eccentricity, no, ang iyahang formula is m is equals to a squared minus b squared all over a squared plus b squared. Substitute the value of a and b nga gihatag sa problem, you will come up with the answer for 0.003395900234. Since kay eccentricity siya, dili siya pwede na imong fraction form. So, dapat naka-decimal form siya. Right, for example number 2, no? Using the International 1924 nga ellipsoid, which is nasa part 2 ni sa inyong kaninga topic, no, naa siya parameters nga gihatag, given nga a is equals to 6378388 meters and f is equals to 1 over 297, no, 297. Then calculate the following: second flattening, first and second eccentricity, linear eccentricity, angular eccentricity with respect to sine, cosine, tangent, third flattening, and third eccentricity. So ang gihatag lang is si a and c flattening. So, to get directly, no, unsay formula nga pwede na itong magamit nga naanay given, so that is the first flattening. Okay, mao may gihatag. Given nga first flattening, napong kay a, so we can directly get the value of the semi-minor axis. So, f is equals to a minus b over a, substitute the value of f and a, so natin nabilin nga b. So, getting the value of b using mathematical manipulation, and I guess kabalo na mo ana unsaon. So, b now is 6356911.946. Again, to check, dapat si semi-minor axis is less than ang value niya sa semi-major axis. Minor gani, so mas gamay siya kaysa sa major. For second flattening, we have this formula, f prime is equals to a minus b over b. So therefore, natin na-derive na value sa b, and given si a, substitute those values, then you can have the value for second flattening to be 1 over 296. So f prime now is equals to 1 over 296. For the first and second eccentricity, so formula base, first eccentricity is equals to square root of a squared minus b squared all over a. Substitute the values na given, then you can have the value of first eccentricity is equal to 0.081991889998. For second eccentricity, we have this equation or this formula. Eccentricity squared or e prime is equals to square root of a squared minus b squared all over b. Substitute the values, then you can have this answer. E prime is equals to 0.08 522688961. Next is ang linear eccentricity, no? Linear eccentricity is we have the formula E is equals to A times eccentricity. Substitute again the value, no? Natay A, natay E. Therefore, you can have the linear eccentricity to be 522,976.0871 meters. Meters kay naka-meter si A. For angular eccentricities, sine alpha or angular eccentricity with respect to sine that is equal to first eccentricity. Copy lang ang answer. For cosine alpha or angular eccentricity with respect to cosine, you can have this formula b over a or 1 minus f. So you will have an answer of 0.9966329966. And angular eccentricity for with respect to tangent, or that is equal to second eccentricity. So ang answer niya is 0.08226888961. For the third flattening, again, ang formula a minus b over a plus b. Substitute the value. You can have the value for third flattening to be 1 over 593. And for third eccentricity, the formula is a minus b, a squared minus b squared all over a squared plus b squared. Again, substitute the values na na-derive and given. You can have the third eccentricity to be 0.00337267161. Again, pag mayon tag eccentricity, naka-decimal format, and pag naka-iyon tawag flattening, naka what do you call this one? Naka-fractional form. Alright, so I guess this ends now the presentation, I think. Alright, so before we end pala, I have here a quote from my favorite or famous field sa mga engineering students. So, I always watch this video kung nagkalisod na ko or naglisod ko sa subject before. When I was in college, naglisod ko na naka-encounter kong challenges sa life. I always watch this. I hope nga kamupod mo. Kaya kung naka-inspire ni sa ako, mas maka-inspire po siguro ni sa inyo. So, kaway-kaway sa mga 3 idiot fans dyan. So, how yun yung ginatanaw, whenever I feel down, whenever I feel frustrated, I am depressed academically. So, I always watch this one. Okay? Para sa ako, mas maka-inspire siya to keep moving forward even if naglisod ka. Okay? Why I am telling this one, it's because we are now in the pandemic. Even we, the instructors, are dili mi ganahan nga ingani piminti ang setup. Online lang, tapos mas may magitong face-to-face kay na interactions between you. But try to motivate yourself na bisan pag naging ingani to ang setup, everything must be fine, or ma-okay ra ni ang tanan-tanan after all. So according to Rancho of 3 Idiots, that is 2009, however big the problem, tell your heart all is well. All is well, no? Kaya ra na tanan. Ayaw lang i-let in yourself na naglisod na kay ko, di na ako ni kaya, i-end na ako akong life. No. So you're going to keep moving forward. Keep moving forward. Ayaw lang stop. Ayaw lang stop. Kung if ever man galing masakitan mo or ma-down mo, then ayaw i-let in yourself na diha ra kataman, or ayaw i-let in yourself na mura na ako ang kaya, di na ko padayon. No, you can have something more sa imong gibuhat karon. So kung naglisod mo kani nga topic, so ayaw lang ka down. You can have a chat me on the Facebook group, atong FB group. Kung ever sir naglisod ko aning pagsabot aning imong discussion diri nga part, so pwede ba sir nga ko sige, kung atong ibalik ko mag-discuss sa inyo or sa inyo. So please reach lang sa ako and I'm so sorry nga murag dili kay nako siya ma-discuss diri sa inyo, kay na thoughts nga akong gusto isulti during sa ako ang pag-rehearse aning slide. before nga ako ning gi-record, pero malimtan ako during sa recording na kay wala mang good po interaction between the students, the students no nga. Okay, tama di ay na-rehearse ko ni during sa ako ang pag-practice ang slide, no? So again, however big the problem is, tell your heart all is well. Kaya ra na tanan, no? Ang importante buhi ta. Alright, so another quote from the Rancho again, no? Don't chase success. Become a good engineer and success will chase you. No? So, ano lang, strive hard, no, to reach your goals, to reach your dreams, no, and everything will follow us. No? Kung imuhang kumaayo ka nga pagka-engineer, dili lang academically but also in attitude, then success will chase you. Ang success nimo duol sa imo. Ang success nimo hatag sa imo gay. Ang imuhang attitude plus academic performance will give you a guidance or a path to the success. So again, no, for your questions and queries regarding this topic, you can reach me through Facebook page, no, and ask me, sir, gusto ko one-on-one discussion regarding this one. Yes, I can have, basta di lang dyan ko busy, no? Pero pasensya ita kung if ever mabisi ko kay labi na project, no, ay mga webinars and so on na pwede na mo asikasuhon, then I can have this. So na naman siguro uban diri ang nakuha na nako na discussan through Facebook lang nga chat kay dili ko ka live or dili ko ka Google Meet you, no? So sorry kayo everyone, and I guess this really help you, no, in times of the pandemic, no, nga atong naagihan karon. I guess na nakatabang ni nga video lectures for your understanding about the GE 102 topic. Again, God bless everyone and see you to the another videos for topic 3 and so on. Keep safe and have a good day.